This video, we're going to talk through this massive crisis going on in the finance industry, in the tech industry, with loads of people getting laid off, right? And I'm going to react to some of the layoffs and talk to you through some of the very awkward corporate culture that does tend to go on in these environments when it comes to layoffs. I myself have worked in the finance industry for over 10 years, worked at banks like Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, and so on. I also studied economics at LSE, so I have a good, decent level of experience of this, and I've dealt with layoffs in the past. So I'll talk you through the scenario this individual is dealing with, and let's provide some commentary as we talk through it.
Hey, Brittany. Hi.
So she's just getting introduced to this layoff call, right? And she's had some messages from her co-workers saying that they're dealing with layoffs. So she's kind of anticipating the call, that it could be a potential layoff. But before we go through like each moment of the call that she's going through here, what I want to do is essentially consider just the way she's carrying herself right now, because she knows a layoff call is coming in, that she's going to kind of lose her job. But also there's the level of like constant anxiety that you deal with in a corporate job and in any office job with a potential layoff coming around the corner that you don't know about. And it's like a daily issue. It's not just when you'll find out rumors of being a layoff or a recession coming up. It's like this constant anxiety. Oh, today could I log into work and then, I have a random meeting that they call me in with HR and my manager and they lay me off without me knowing. And the key point here is that you should bear this in mind and make sure that you're loyal to your own best interests and not loyal to the company best interests, because your company's not looking out for you. They could treat you well one day and treat you bad the next. So anytime you've got a HR meeting coming up, think about, what's going on and if they want to negatively impact your life.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name's Rosie. I'm just joining the call. Nice to meet you. I'm on the HR team.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie. We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
I'm going to stop you right there. So I started August 25th. I've been on a 3-month ramp, and then it was 3 weeks of December, and then a week of Christmas, and then here we are. I have had the highest activity amongst my team since I've started.
Now, first, two quick things to notice here, right? The company are calling her to saying they're laying her off on the basis of her performance, right? Now, performance is just a legal word that is used to protect the company. They don't really care about, they just need to protect themselves by saying you have poor performance so they don't get sued by you for you saying they're treating you unfairly compared to others, right? Now, performance is very subjective. It's not necessarily accurately measured or consistent, right? Because there's some people who might have poor performance, but the management, conveniently enough, and I've dealt with this personally, they won't put that in writing. But if you have a little slight issue and they want to get rid of you, they'll make a big deal about it and put it in your performance reviews. A good example of this, I worked at another company where they were critical of my performance, and the critical of my performance in my end of year performance review was that some of my emails are long, or that I use bullet points in emails when it's not needed, or that there was one instance I was using a company format email and the fonts were 2 different fonts, and I was following the company format, but they said, oh, you should have put it in one font because that's more professional. It doesn't look professional if you have 2 separate fonts. And this is the type of ridiculousness that they'll put in my performance review. And at the same time, my manager was making serious mistakes. They were giving incorrect advice to the business. They did a training session. This is kind of funny. They did a training session and they missed about 1/3 of the slides because they didn't print them, and they trained people and missed like a significant amount of the training material. And now management didn't make a big deal about that. They didn't hold them accountable. They didn't include it in their performance review. And when I point out this discrepancy, they just like, oh, don't worry about that. Worry about your own performance. And the point I was trying to make there is that this company, which I won't name, they can define performance however they want, right? Any company you're working for, they can effectively make up whatever they want. And what this woman has done quite well, and this is what I recommend you all do if you are working in a corporate environment, is track your own performance, track your own metrics. Okay, what projects am I working on? What are my exact performance objectives? Am I tracking my performance objectives against the work I'm doing? Can I get some type of rationale of any performance issue that they say that they have with me? And if you're in a situation like this where you're in a layoff meeting, ask them, and I've done this personally, ask them for in writing, can they describe why they're laying you off and what is their exact rationale. And at the very least, you can go and reach out to a legal contact you might have outside the company, of course, and look at employee litigation. And if they say, oh, this doesn't add up, they should be, giving you more money in the layoff, in the severance package, they should be, provide you with more justification, because I've asked these questions before for a company that I was dealing with a layoff with, and it became a bit of a legal issue. And they couldn't really define why I was selected for layoff compared to other employees. I'd ask a question, they'd give a very short answer, which wasn't a full answer. I'll ask another question. They would never wanted to provide the full justification. Now, also, if you live in the Europe, the UK, and maybe to a certain extent in the US, you have a legal right to ask for certain documentation of why did they select you, what were the communications by management with regards to yourself. There's things called the Data Protection Act, which will protect your private data, the GDPR, so you can request these type of information. You could ask for every email where management had discussed you on email and mentioned your name, right? So this is the type of situations you can consider, where you might want to reach out to that information and always protect yourself. And that's what she's doing. She's protected herself by tracking the metrics of her performance. So let's continue to listen on to what she has to say.
I have had 3 contracts out, done a really great job managing my deals up until the very end that decided not to close last minute. I don't think that makes a lot of sense for me in my Cloudflare journey here so far. Also, every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but, I am doing a great job, I have had great activity, I have really great meetings, I'm picking up the products very quickly, and things have been going really, really well. I make really great relationships with my clients. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been, I haven't met performance expectations, when I certainly have, just because I haven't closed anything officially.
I hear you.
Also, why are you doing this and not my manager? We've never met, so this seems a little odd that my manager has no idea that this has been happening and the director has no idea that this has been happening. So I'm just definitely confused, and I would love an explanation that makes sense.
100%. Real quick, let me carve out the 2 threads. A ladder of why I'm on this conversation. I'll put that one, the second half, and Rosie might be better to explain the process of who's giving this information, and the prior piece, which is your feedback and notes about your performance. So let me add a little color context to that. So just for clarification, you are not being singled out in this. Your peers are also being collectively assessed on performance. This is a collective calibration for Cloudflare. So I just want to clarify that piece. I won't be able to add any kind of specifics on numbers or...
Wait, can you explain for me why Brittany Peach is getting let go?
Won't be able to go into specifics for numbers.
Wait, why though? I just started. I've been working extremely hard. Just because I haven't closed anything that has nothing to do with my performance on a 3-month ramp with just 1 month with 2 major holidays in the middle, I don't think that has anything to do with why I should be let go, if that makes sense. So I really need an answer and an explanation as to why Brittany Peach is getting let go, not why Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go. If that's the real answer, I would rather just you tell me that instead of making up some bullshit and telling me that right before I lose my job from someone that I've never met before, if you can respect that.
I can totally respect that, and I don't think Dom or myself today is going to give you any clarity or answers that's going to meet the expectations that you're communicating to us, Brittany. So I can't speak to...
So am I getting let go for no reason, if you guys can't give me a reason?
I'm happy to follow up with you separately to give you the data that was calibrated. I'll need to speak with revenue leadership specifically to see if we can get that for you. But Dom and
can
I
you
do
share
not
that
have
with me
that
now?
in our meeting. I cannot share that with you right now, unfortunately. Yeah. Understandable how you feel and your frustration. Cannot stress that enough.
I have been working extremely hard.
So one thing you'll notice is when you're dealing with a layoff, they're never going to give you a real reason why you've been singled out. And it probably could be because the manager doesn't like you, or the co-workers don't like you, and that's kind of valued more than your performance. But they'll just say, oh, it's your performance. We did a calibrated review. We compared everyone's performance, and you're kind of the person that we're going to select to lose their job, or a few people like you. And they just do some statistics and they just put it in writing that, you know, they've done some careful consideration and you're the person who is selected for a layoff. They'll bring up your performance or just general business cuts. You'll never get a fair answer or a genuine answer to this question because it probably isn't your performance. So that's why you shouldn't take it too personally if you are dealing with a layoff, because as I say, it's not really dependent on your performance as they might lead you to believe. Other thing to notice here is that there is an inequality of how performance is assessed. Like I say, if you're manager's favorites, they're going to treat you better than if you're not.
You feel that way. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing that we're going to say in this call in the time that we have that's going to undo the way that you feel right in this moment. I personally will do everything that I can to give you as much specific information as I can after this call. I can't make any promises. I understand where you're coming from. I can tell you that Dom and I do care. I understand the feeling that you have right now. And I can't change that. So
what happens is in these calls, they'll typically talk about your feelings and your emotions. And I don't know if you've had this scenario before. They'll typically go, "Oh, when a layoff meeting is going to happen or something like that." They're like, "Oh, you can include a coworker to provide some like friendly support." And it's just weird. It's like, I'm at work to work. I'm not here for my feelings. She's at work to work. It's not really a feeling matter. It's not really an emotional matter. It's work to make money. And they try to turn it into this kind of like life coaching, this kind of a therapy session. This isn't a therapy session, it's a business transaction. We're transferring time for money, transferring work for money, and they try to be, oh, we really care about you, but we're going to fire you and not pay you anymore. So it's kind of it's incredibly annoying, and it can trigger quite an aggressive reaction from you if you're in that position, as we'll see from her here.
But why can't, you guys have still not given me a reason why I'm being let go, despite constant positive praise from my manager, great meetings that I'm having. The amount of activity that I have has all been positive. I have not received any negative inclination. I have not been put on a performance improvement plan, nothing. So
I cannot speak to what your manager has communicated to you directly.
But that should be the indication of
performance based on your attainment and leading indicators of data. That is the rationale.
But I've been here for only a month after ramping, and that was during a holiday. So I don't understand can you explain what those performance metrics are? Or is that just like a vague term to give to everyone that you're speaking to today?
I'll say that the performance, while we're not able to go into specifics, and there's no situation where we will be able to go into.
Do you guys even know who you're talking to each day? Like every single 10, 15 minutes, do you guys even know who you're talking to? Like why?
So what they're going to do is they're going to put you in this position where they're going to try and trigger a reaction out of you, even though they're going to pretend like they're not and they're doing the right thing. What they're trying to do in the corporate speak, the passive-aggressive corporate language, is just like they're trying to get rid of you, and they'll give you whatever meaningless corporate answer, like words and sentences that kind of have no value or no meaning, and you have to kind of play along like, okay, sure, yes, this means absolutely nothing. You're just throwing out legal terms to protect yourself. That's what the company's doing, and you're kind of expected to just sit there and not challenge it. And what she's doing is what I've done in the past. If challenge it, like, well, why me? Can we explain it? No, it's just performance. That's the type of response you'll get. They have to protect themselves legally, so they're not going to give you the full facts. Now, I recommend you do get the facts of why you've been laid off in writing. Reach out to them in email after the meeting. Try to get as much of things in writing. Share it with a lawyer and try to get a free legal consultation from a lawyer to see if you can pursue any type of legal action to get extra money. And of course, that's your last-ditch method. I won't suggest anything untoward. Do everything within the realm of the law, but if there is any other reason you could find dissatisfaction, see if you can leverage that to benefit you. Sometimes unfairly, employees are treated on the basis of their race, their gender, their mental health, their personal, maybe lifestyle conditions, mental health, things like that. So just think any angle you could take where you could leverage more money from this scenario. The company doesn't care about you. They're getting rid of you. You probably will never work there again. If you can get some extra money from them in that severance package through a legal dispute or anything that doesn't cost you too much time or energy, just by outlining your perspective in writing with an improvement of a litigation employment law legal contact, and it costs you not too much, then maybe consider doing that. I would recommend that if you're in that position. Now, the reality is so many people are dealing with these very difficult layoff scenarios. And I've worked at some of these top banks. I've seen these type of layoff scenarios play out and how it can impact company morale and employees and put them in difficult positions to find a new job. And that's why I'm here to help you, right? And that's why I have 3 options in my description section of this video. I have a free ebook that provides you with 10 top career lessons to help you avoid these type of scenarios. I have a free career coaching call that I can provide you with advice for your career and perspectives on different financial situations you might be in. And the third thing is I offer a detailed career coaching program where I'll help you provide with career fulfillment by building a career path that actually works for you, help provide you with time freedom by essentially looking at remote work, hybrid options that could benefit you, and building up a long-term career where maybe you start in the office, but it can lead to more opportunities so you can have more flexible working, and then help you be rich forever by helping you manage your budget, savings and investments, and then help you through that build a life you love. Because many people understand the system's being rigged. People are in the position that this girl is in, dealing with a layoff, even if you're a highly qualified finance professional, things like that. And you're looking for solutions, and everyone's solution is unique. And what I'm here to do through my videos is to help essentially, the 5% of people who understand this and are looking for alternative solutions that are unique to you. And through understanding your personal circumstances, I can help provide you with unique solutions. So thanks for listening. Feel free to check out the links in the description for any of those 3, and I'll see you in the next video. 2 recommended videos on the screen right now. Thanks for listening.